Brexit is back on the table again after the Conservative Party won an outright majority in the general election, providing Boris Johnson with a new mandate to get his withdrawal agreement through the House of Commons. Since the election, the SNP has accelerated its demands for a Scottish independence vote. Brexit is now expected to happen in 2020, as Boris Johnson's newfound majority should allow him to pass legislation through the House of Commons with ease. As the Conservatives vastly extended their reach in Parliament, another party followed, and the SNP now claims it has its own mandate for an independent Scotland which could separately join the EU. Could Scotland join the EU? With Boris Johnson's majority, the UK will now likely leave the EU by the 31st of January, 2020, and a period of great uncertainty for the country will follow. The SNP, the only other party to make gains in the House of Commons this year, is insisting Scotland is on course for a second independence referendum if the UK leaves the bloc. Party leader Nicola Sturgeon said the move would allow Scotland to leave the UK and rejoin the EU on its own. Ms. Sturgeon insists the party's 13-seat gain provides them with a mandate to do so. Scottish polls suggest she would find public support as well, with a majority behind the independence referendum. If the country left the UK, it would theoretically be free to join the bloc. Scotland meets the EU's membership requirements and could be ushered through the normal application process quickly, according to experts on the issue. Speaking at the SNP conference in Aberdeen earlier this year, Drew Scott, a professor at Edinburgh Law School, said the mood towards an independent Scotland has changed. He said, "The mood in Brussels today is quite different from the mood in Brussels in 2014 before the independence referendum." Professor Scott believes Scotland would quickly integrate into the bloc if it accepted the EU's terms. He said, "I think Scotland could take its place relatively comfortably, relatively quickly, providing we're prepared to accept the obligations of membership and assuming we had achieved independence by a constitutional due process, while Scotland could join the EU following Brexit." The Conservative Party is determined not to allow a second independence referendum. Before the election, Boris Johnson said the vote was a once-in-a-generation opportunity which wouldn't come again. Now, the Duchy of Lancaster has confirmed the newly empowered Conservative government would bar a future vote. Speaking to Sky's Sophie Ridge on Sunday earlier today, the 15th of December, Michael Gove said he could absolutely guarantee the government would never grant a second independence vote for Scotland. He added Scotland would be better off in the United Kingdom. Mr. Gove said, "We had the referendum on whether or not Scotland should be separate from the United Kingdom in 2014. We were told that referendum would settle the question for a generation. In this general election we have just seen what happens when politicians try to overturn a referendum result, and in the same way, we should respect the referendum result of 2014. Scotland is stronger in the United Kingdom. You can be proudly Scottish and proudly British together."